What I'm doing right now is I'm speed testing this card. I ordered it on Amazon a little while ago, and it was the thing that stood out to me was when Ruben on Twitter, do check out my Twitter feed, he's on there quite a lot. If you're looking for a way to upgrade your system, there's this whole thing at the moment, thanks to companies like Acer Store, with the appeal of 2.5Gbe. Hello and welcome back, and today I want to carry on talking about the 2.5Gbe card that I found on Amazon for as little as £25. Now, for you guys out there that didn't watch my other video, what I'm doing right now is I'm speed testing this card. I ordered it on Amazon a little while ago, and it was the thing that stood out to me was when Ruben on Twitter, do check out my Twitter feed, he's on there quite a lot. If you're looking for a way to upgrade your system, there's this whole thing at the moment, thanks to companies like Acer Store, with the appeal of 2.5Gbe. That is 2.5 times that of our traditional network speeds, but not as high or as expensive as 10Gbe. It's for people that want to make a little jump and spend accordingly. So when he highlighted this card to me, this was a £25 card, and it promises to upgrade you to 2.5Gbe. Apparently it's only supported by PC systems, but we don't know yet until I test it in some NASes. And if you're watching this right now, chances are my test of the Synology is already live and you've seen it. Now, at the time of recording right now, I haven't tested this card in that Synology, so you've got the advantage over me right now, people in the future. I don't know whether this card worked in that Synology. I hope it did, because today I want to test it inside a QNAP NAS. I want to take this card, again, there should have been the Amazon splash on the screen, so where we picked it up, and we're going to get this card installed inside a QNAP NAS. For those who didn't check out that video, let's talk a little bit about that. The reason this is important is because I've been talking for a long time about 10 Gigabit Ethernet and how it's become more affordable, which it really has. It used to be thousands and thousands of pounds to upgrade even a simple infrastructure to 10Gbe. Now, you can do it for simply hundreds of pounds. Everything from very basic 10Gbe old school adapters, which are changing hands for 70 to 80 pounds, to more fully fledged and enabled PCIe upgrade to 10Gbe, such as the Synology card for NAS, which is about 120 to 130 pounds, to upgrade to 10 Gigabit Ethernet, or the QNAP card that's supported on both Windows, Windows, NAS and Linux systems that allow you to upgrade to 10Gbe for as little as £90, give or take. So there is a lot of appeal, and with 10Gbe adapters such as the Thunderbolt 10G adapter from Sonnet, which is available for about £160 to £200, although 10Gbe is significantly more affordable than it was, these are still large sums of money for a number of you, and what you want to do is upgrade on a smaller level. You don't want 10 times speeds, you just want a little bit more, and that's where cards like that are important. Now, the reason I'm making this video is when this was first highlighted to me, the first thing that hit me about it was that is ridiculously cheap for an upgrade card, 25 quid. Given that the next best card, I think there was some Asus mobile upgrade cards that were like 50, 60, even 70 quid. And this £25 card not only seemed ridiculously cheap, but the Amazon page that it was on looked threadbare. There were no reviews, there were loads of lower case, there were typos all over the place, and to be honest, I genuinely thought I'm going to order this and I'm just going to have to claim my money back in a few weeks. It was just a luck thing, really. But the damn card arrived. So we're going to test this inside a QNAP NAS today. We're going to pop this inside my handy QNAP rack mount here with a bunch of PCIe slots inside, and we're going to test this bad boy just to see, one, if it works, and two, how well it works. The full speed testing, if it works, will be in a future video along with the Acer Store NAS, of course, where we will bench test, one, those great 2.5Gbe ports that are featured on the new Nimbus Store 4, and also how well and what we can do with that speed. But let's have a look inside, let's have a look at this box, in case you haven't caught the Synology video. If you have, maybe fast forward a bit. But that's the box. It is incredibly basic. To be honest, it looks like a 2003 modem, some of that packaging they used to use back then. On the side there, we've got the model ID, which is a IEEE802.3U LAN. Catchy. And the company is called IOCrest. Never heard of them. You? It is a PCIe Express card. It supports one lane, 2.5 to 5 gigabits per second PCI Express, which is One of the reasons it was quite misleading, and again I know chances are the Amazon page that I've splashed on the screen from when I purchased this card is going to be the latest one, almost certainly. When this card was first ordered, they've amended that page since, but originally it highlighted a 2.5G 5G card. So it was very misleading, and I didn't know if we were going to be getting a 2.5 or a 5 Gigabit Ethernet card. So I just took the risk and spent the 25 NIC and then waited weeks and weeks for this damn card to arrive. So I will be looking to check about the compatibility of this card and whether it does give 2.5 or maybe the chipset is open to other speeds. On top of that, it is a PCI Express 2.1, which once you look at the card will make a lot more sense. Inside we have accessories. We have a driver CD, which is a blank CD with a picture of a panda on it. Tiny little picture of a panda, try and get that on screen. Again, cheap as chips. We have a low profile backplane, which I'm super impressed by, because that's a little thing I didn't expect them to include. We have a qualified certificate saying that this is absolutely fine and definitely quality control passed. I'm not sure how much confidence I have in that tiny piece of card. We have business cards, obviously. So if you do have any emails or suggestions, do email szgrande@163.com. And then on top of that, we have an instructions manual, just a printed sheet of paper. I read a little bit on the Synology video when we were doing that test, and again, I hope that card works. But I will say that this supports 2.5Gbe PCI Express. It supports everything full duplex, VLAN tagging, all the stuff you'd expect from a network card. The instructions are terrible, but maybe we'll end up using it. You'll be pleased to hear that it does support XP and Vista. Woo! And apart from that, it seems to be pretty straightforward in its installation. There are troubleshooting tips, but I'm not going to depress you by reading them. What we're going to do now is we're going to get this card installed inside our QNAP rack mount over here, and we're going to see if the QNAP will pick up this card and maybe help you guys decide whether this card is worth a purchase. Let's take a look. Well, unfortunately this video has to be drawn to an abrupt end. Not to put a finer point on it, the QNAP did not like this card. I know we've got the device running in the background there because the lid's off, so I do apologise for the noise levels, but it's nothing short of a complete failure. At the moment, I'm sure you've seen from the video on the screen where we installed the card, we had one GBE connection on a LAN port, and we connected another CAT cable into that 2.5Gbe PCIe card. Now, both of them are running in the same Gigabit Ethernet switch there, so even if I'm not using a 2.5 or 10 GBE switch, that switch should still be backwards compatible with 1 GBE. Sadly, that has not proven to be the case. The card itself, when it was first installed, the QNAP NAS booted up, but it took almost 4 times longer to boot up than any other attempt. When I got that installed inside there, the rack mount, which normally boots up, I would say within 4 minutes at most, with individual apps coming later, took somewhere in the region of almost 20 minutes to boot. All that time, I couldn't get into the user interface of the NAS. When I could use QFinder to find it, all it would find is the single NAS being found via the one LAN connection. Now, for those that aren't aware, if you do connect a NAS drive via multiple LAN ports to a switch, you'll almost always find the NAS listed in numerous locations. One NAS will be listed multiple times, and unless you bond those connections with link aggregation or port trunking and more, the result is that you end up with all of those NASs listed. Sadly, in this case, only the original 1 GBE onboard connection was seen, and therefore I'm going to call this test a complete failure. I've tried disconnecting the 1 GBE and running straight up to 2.5, but there's no switching to it. And on the virtual switch application, network and virtual switch user interface of the QNAP, I'm seeing that the 1 GBE cable is connected, however none of the others are registered, and moreover it is not listing that card at all, and I'm afraid for me that is a big thumbs down for this card. I know, who knew, a 25 quid know nothing card from an Amazon listing that had lots of lowercase letters and nothing but errors and no reviews. Who'd have thought that card would not work? But nevertheless, I'm going to do some more tests with this off camera. I just wanted to round this up and let you guys know do not go for this card for your QNAP NAS. Now, of course, I will be doing more tests with the Acer Store, the Nimbus Store 4 there, because of the growing need for people to make the small jump to 2.5 and 5Gbe rather than going to fully fledged 10. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. We've got lots of tests throughout the summer with lots of these little devices on the build up to the big stuff coming out in September, October. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you do find any bizarre items on Amazon, on eBay, weird little items that you want to see tested out here on the channel, some sort of cost-effective alternative, we've already covered some of those ridiculous 1 TB USB sticks in a future video, and we got some other docking stations too. So if you do see something on eBay, Amazon, Alibaba, and you think that can't work, it's too cheap, it can't possibly be a success, send it to me via Twitter or NAS Compares, and then I'll see if I can get it on the channel. We can do some live testing here on the rigs. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the video, and I'll see you next time.